The Out TV series For the Love of DILFs is the latest entry into the genre of reality TV that fetishizes romantic partners with disparate age differences and that feature a sultry, sexy imbalance of power. Because if your TV show isn't normalizing something dangerous to society, I'm not watching it. If you recall my clip breakdown of MILF Manor, just think of For the Love of DILFs as that show's less popular, gay, broke-ass cousin with daddy issues. Just like every family has. You know the one, you love him and he's so much fun, but you can't help but notice he's got a bunch of roommates who all look very thin. And he makes your grandmother visibly uncomfortable. So slather on your self-tanner and swallow your Cialis. Because For the Love of DILFs is not just a chaotic show with a convoluted title. It's your one-way ticket to paradise with somebody your dad's age, chock full of artificial drama and uninteresting conflicts, from a group of people who love to say that they live in West Hollywood but hate to tell you exactly what it is they do for work there, and finally, a vehicle for political whistleblower Stormy Daniels to show us what she can do as a television host, such as forget her lines, seem uncomfortable, and her own hair and makeup from the looks of it. We're getting messy with the show that has younger gay men stressing out their parents and older gay men stressing out their heart valves. For this, everyone who was involved was over the age of 18 at the time of shooting. Installment of Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is a playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV movies, and other such content here on the web, and we break it down like we're explaining the latest gay slang words to our straight sisters or something. And mama, we've got some training to do today, because there is a new verbiage and a bunch of thirsty young men coming at your mansion full of daddies to try and find love. And that comes with it some very interesting gay-isms, if you will, that I'm excited to explore with you here on today's episode of Clip Breakdown. But first, shout out to the sponsor of today's video, ROCKETMONEY, who I will tell you all about in just a bit. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. That way I know you want to see even more reality dating show breakdowns like this. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week. Also, if you haven't heard, all of the paid subscribers on my Patreon were removed because of an error on the part of Patreon, and they're helping work with me now to make that right, but they cannot subscribe people who have been unsubscribed. So if you want to join Patreon, now is the time. If you sign up for the annual account payment, then you get 2 months free, and I would love to see you over there for virtual watch parties, bonus content, and more. Also check out my merch, like my queer-coded line of merch, which is now out on my website, nickdiramio.com. All proceeds go to benefit GLAAD. Now let's get into For the Love of DILFs, which, for the love of God, I don't know why they came up with that title. MILF Manor, beautiful, poetic, has a great ring to it. It lets you know that this is gonna be like the MILF version of Love Island. For the Love of DILFs is like 13 more words than it needs to be, and it's like, what is that riffing off of? For the love of God, yes. For the love of Pete, I don't know. But for the love of DILFs, like that's not even, that doesn't sound like anything. No one says for the love of DILF anything that rhymes with DILF. So it's stupid. I don't know why they wouldn't just say like DILF Den or whatever. But regardless, in my world, the person who is going after a DILF is called a twink, but the internet has come up with a new slang word for the young men who aspire to be with a DILF, which I don't know if I need to explain this to you, but that stands for Dad, I'd like to finger up the or whatever. Insert your choice of sexual slang there. But they don't call them twinks. Opposite of a DILF is not a twink. In this case, it is, as the internet has invented most recently in the blogosphere.
We've brought together 2 groups of the internet's favorite gay archetype. HIMBOS, muscular, kind-hearted, maybe a little chaotic. Daddies, distinguished, insightful, maybe a little too set in their ways.
Wait, those are the 2 most popular on the internet? I'm confused. Is uncircumcised not an archetype? Damn, then I may have been inventing my own subtext while reading The Odyssey by Homer. It's not actually an epic tale about Odysseus and his uncut Wow, and I've been telling people that's my favorite book, but suddenly it's not even in the top 10. Funny how life works. Himbo is what they choose to call the twinks in this show, which makes sense. It's a little broader. They're not all like what you would think of as stereotypical twinks. We've got some jocks in there. We've got some general idiots. And also, it's more trendy. People say the word himbo now as like a thing. It's a thing. So they're trying to stay on trend here. I feel like they're also trying to be Love Island or some of these Netflix reality shows where they have like a very cheeky Australian voiceover who kind of gives commentary on what the interviewers are saying. I also feel like the show thought that it was doing something really cool when it hired Stormy Daniels for the hosting position, which granted, I like Stormy Daniels. I'm grateful that she called out Trump for his illegal spending and kicked a lot of those legal actions into action. But I don't think that she was the one for this job. I'm sorry, I just gotta say it. It's like when they hired Tanya Harding to do those shows, like the prank shows, like that was kind of badass. Like I got the vision there, but I don't know if I quite see it here. All I'm seeing is one pale woman in the broad daylight with too much sun on her face, dressed like it's gonna be a hot one.
I'm your host, Stormy Daniels, and I was brought here by Dr. DILF, a mysterious gay relationship expert, to help these singles find the man of their dreams. Which I know sounds kind of weird, but hey, the check cleared.
Okay, it's good that at least she knows it sounds kind of weird, although I don't think she realizes how much of that is caused by her own disjointed teleprompter reading. She said Dr. DILF is a doctor and a DILF based in WeHo who specializes in doing anal. Whew, we did it. Okay, I know I'm a slow reader, but it's fine. My goal is to be so terrible that the gays think it's camp and love me anyway. You know, like Lifetime movies or Hilary Duff's Dancing. When she pauses, they're obviously changing the cue card out and she's decided to pause unnaturally instead of just knowing the next word is dating. Anyway, it's time to meet the contestants. We'll start by meeting the HIMBOS, all of whom seem to be in their 20s, from West Hollywood, and as is only natural for a gay when they meet another group of gays, I have chosen one who I'm going to single out and pick on the most, because they bother me.
What's up, guys? My name's Tony Cannoli, and I'm from New Jersey, and I'm so excited to be here. 27 years old, and I'm just looking for love in all the wrong places.
And before anyone asks, no, my last name isn't really Cannoli. That's a nickname I got in college for being incredibly fragile and uncomfortably cheesy. Haha. Mr. Anthony Cananthony here, Cannolini, has the sort of forced, eager to be loved golden retriever energy that sort of makes me cringe. Although that's pretty much my go-to reaction for anything that reminds me of me in my 20s. I was just walking around with a big dopey grin like, this is why people keep robbing you. Stop it. I don't think Anthony volunteered what his profession is, but the fact that he goes by Tony Cannoli tells me he's like a TikToker or an Instagrammer or some sort of aspiring influencer. Although I think he would be great as like the voiceover artist behind some sort of cartoon dog. Doesn't he have that kind of voice? Ha! Anyway, let's meet someone else with a job that feels dubious.
Hi guys, Nate here, 22, currently living in Los Angeles. I have a passion for talking and vocalizing my thoughts and communicating as much as I can.
Okay, well, to save time when you're filing taxes, I think you can just write unemployed. At least I'm 99% confident that's his situation. Granted, that also sounded a lot like how someone with a podcast would explain that they have a podcast. I'm passionate about vocalizing my opinions and just communicating as much as I can, which you wouldn't think would be a full-time job, but my vocabulary is very underdeveloped. I still have to see a pediatrician who can interpret my body language to identify symptoms, because big boy doctors are for people who can self-report the signs of their own chlamydia. I'll get there though. Flashcards. Again, they really want us to feel like it's a serve having Stormy Daniels on the show, and I'm not saying she's not beautiful. I'm just saying she's not exactly f***ing Janet Jackson in a leotard coming out here, which is how the gays are acting. I just feel like the producers are gassing this up a little bit too much, being like, isn't it f***ing amazing that Stormy Daniels is here? Didn't you just shit yourself? Didn't you just gay shit yourself, you gay shitter? I mean, yeah, she's here. Somebody's hosting the show, that's good. Yeah, we're just happy this is greenlit.
Stormy Daniels, like, where am I? What planet is this? And she looks phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Holy shit, she's fucking stunning, honestly. Like, when she walked out, I was like, Stormy Daniels,
Stormy Daniels, I hate that. I mean, yeah, she looks great. Like the divorced mom who is still putting in effort for the drop-off line at their kid's school. But I just don't think I buy the way these gays seem to be eating her up like she's a new type of club drug. I mean, I know they can see those hair extensions. It looks like we caught the current blonde Stormy Daniels when it was halfway through devouring the carcass of a previous naturally brunette Stormy Daniels. It's like that painting of the guy eating the baby. He's like, huh. But that's her hair eating her other hair. Layer 1 versus layer 2. We obviously have other himbos that come out. You know, there's like Phoenix, there's Tokyo, there's that fifth one. But don't worry, these are not the only himbos we're gonna be having for the whole season. There's actually an elimination type of thing where we replace the himbos with a new himbo, which is good because I'm like, okay, these ones are boring, these ones are boring. She looks phenomenal, phenomenal. Why did he say it that way? I can't. Anyway, we're gonna jump into the first challenge here. Try and stay with with Stormy as she explains it. It's a little hard to understand why they would approve this to be a challenge.
On the table before you, you will find a pair of undies and a personal item from each of the daddies. See which items speak to you, and those will belong to the person you will have your very first one-on-one with.
Don't get me wrong, I'm all for a completely arbitrary, low-budget activity when it comes to choosing a sexual partner. That's why I have a big bucket of water with apples floating in it outside my front door. The first Amazon delivery driver to retrieve one without using their hands gets to me. And that's why they've all started getting their packages to my doorstep via free throw from the 3-point line. But I digress. Listen, I love a cheapskate reality show challenge, okay? But this is a gay reality show. And I expect a little more visual flair from the DIY brokenness of it all. Until we get a little bit more of a budget in season 2, we're gonna have to make do with like stuff from the garbage store. But like, what is this though? They need to fire the heterosexual intern who set out these Pelican cases that the wireless mics were stored in before filling them with random trash from Walmart and adorning the table with clumped craft store confetti, and then most confusingly, an assortment of smooth black river stones that were taken from the pool area. Mama, this looks like the funeral setup for a dead hamster, not the magical means through which they manifest the ideal daddy. Now I'm talking directly to you, Straight Sam, the heterosexual intern. You need to clear this off of the card table, bring me 1 yard of black sateen fabric, 3 medium blocks of crystal clear acrylic, and 1 bespoke box made of oak or walnut, and set them all out around a circular mirror that reflects the bright blue sky, or I will walk up to the A camera and smash my face through the lens like a rabid dog, you bitch. No worries, sweetie, you're doing great. I already told your advisor that I'm obsessed with you. Go do it. I'm trying to keep my blood pressure low and not get angry at the sheer concept of lazy filmmaking anymore, because there's enough things in life to just make one mad. I don't think there's anything as frustrating as the realization that I'm overspending, or realizing that money is flying out of my bank account to things that do not matter or that I do not use. And the millennial curse is the fact that a subscription-based sales model is the way to sell things these days. And sweetheart, they're banking on you not remembering. Like, but I got a solution for you. The sponsor of today's video, Rocket Money, has helped me save so much on my recurring charges, mainly digital things like this redundant app I had for giving notes to my editors that I was still paying for years after I stopped using it, which also did the same exact thing as this other podcasting app that I wasn't using. And it's like, rein it in, Nicholas. And every few months or so, I realized I should probably take a look. Instead of having to cull through my bank statements like some sort of accountant, I don't know. I'm so grateful that I get to use Rocket Money, which securely connects to my bank account and identifies those subscription charges and allows me to cancel them with just a few clicks. No phone calls or emails like some kind of accountant. I still guess, I'm sorry to accountants, your life sounds bad. You can also lower your bills and save for your future goals. I'm not someone who can just call someone and be like, hi, let's haggle about the price. Although that is apparently an option. Rocket Money is my advocate there too, because you can simply upload a photo of your bill and then Rocket Money will negotiate your bill on your behalf. I lowered my internet bill. You deserve the satisfaction of knowing that you are paying the lowest price on your bills that you possibly can, and there's no company taking money out of your bank account that they don't deserve every month. So I really encourage you to download Rocket Money. Take control of your finances today. Go to rocketmoney.com/Nick DiRamio to get started for free. That's rocketmoney.com/Nick DiRamio. You're gonna love it. In case you missed this nothing burger of a challenge, there's a bunch of, as I said, microphone cases with some rocks to decorate them. It's like a piece of undies and like a personal item that I just don't feel like the daddies chose any of these themselves. Maybe they did, but like the personal items don't seem like they actually belong to anyone, because why would you call a greeting card a personal item? I don't know, but Tony is very taken with this greeting card. He's like, wow, this shows that someone is a genius. Whoever bought this is a learned sage.
When I saw the jockstrap, I just knew, like, that's my guy. Plus, like, there was a card in it.
You're the best thing I found on the internet.
This guy not only wears a jockstrap, but he has a sense of humor. Sign me up.
Oh no, Tony Maraschino Bruschetta Cannoli, how is that even something that you would want? The last time you signed up to be near a man with a jockstrap and a sense of humor, he ended up hazing you in front of the entire intramural soccer league. That Brandon knew exactly how to make you cry. He's so funny, and you suck. You think that store-bought card about nothing is a sign that your DILF has a sense of humor? It's a sign that he shops at Walgreens, and you suck. Tony's my least favorite, can you tell? And I'm not jealous of the daddy that he picks, okay? I get a daddy too. This looks like a nightmare. It looks like they gotta like sleep on a twin bed with 5 other people in the room and stay in Florida for 2 weeks. Like, count me out. Anyway, Tony is really laying it on thick with his Prince Charming act. I think that's why he bothers me. And did he just double up his smug, over-rehearsed laughter? Sign me up.
Sign me up.
I don't know who told you to live every day like you're providing the voiceover for Disney's Aladdin the animated series, but they were most likely also hazing you, Tommy Pastrami, so stop it. You don't talk like that in real life, do you? I don't think you do. Now, what would a gay show be without the stereotype that young gay men are going to slap fight each other at the drop of a hat, or in this case, the drop of a pair of boxer briefs that somehow tell these people that they've got a sex pot on their hands when it comes to the daddy. It's like, these are the most practical underwear I've ever seen. Nothing about this seems interesting. Not even the fight. No matter how much Stormy Daniels tries to like egg it on.
I'm gonna keep it.
Why? You don't think this one is cute?
Are you guys gonna fight?
I actually like this
Our
one.
first wrestling match?
As much as I would love to see a himbo slap fight, it's time for these men to meet their daddy.
Are you gonna fight? Are you totally gonna out and give us some highly rated conflict? You bitches. Oh, no, they've actually resolved it on their own pretty amicably. They're actually getting along really well for two competing bottoms. Kudos. They say twink death occurs when a twink enters their adult metabolism era, but I would argue that it can sometimes occur years earlier when you appear on a premium cable TV show wearing the most ill-fitting booty shorts, just to realize the only other cast member you can relate to is the other twink metabolized individual wearing the most ill-fitting booty shorts. What was the dress code that they got for this shoot? Like diapery pants? Sweetheart. The vegan leather is not laying flat against the skin and we're struggling to look at it. Anyway, the daddies do come out and there's like maybe two of them that I think like fit the bill when it comes to being like what someone on the streets would call a daddy. And one of those people is like 37, which I'm like, okay, I know that there are young people in the world now and I'm not just like instantly included amongst like what would be considered young if you're talking to like a bunch of kids. I'm not a kid, I get it. It doesn't make me a daddy for being 33. That's crazy to me. And this 37-year-old daddy, he's like, I'm actually usually into older guys. It's like, so you got cast as a daddy when you auditioned to be a boy. Talk about twink death, twink ego death, dying, gay bashed, left dead in the streets. That's your soulmate today. When this beefcake came out, I was like, that looks like Alex Tikas, who's like an adult entertainment performer. And then he was like, I'm Alex Tikas. And I was like, I knew it. So yeah, he does gay videos. We'll say that. I've heard. He's got on-camera experience, so he's probably the most charming on-camera experience. And now for this first challenge, the himbos all got paired up with a DILF and they get to go upstairs and sit down on a table with them and talk for 5 minutes. It's like, this is really not much of a show if this is the kind of on-screen activity that we're seeing. Some of the DILFs and the himbos get along great. Some of them pretend to for the sake of being on a show. And some of them are like, he's not my type. I hate his hair. He's cheesy. Why is his skin so shiny? He can get the out. He looks like a baby seal. I want him off my property. Like, some of them just don't get along well at all. And it's like, okay, can't wait to see how that unfolds. But of course, Alex and Tony get paired up together. My favorite DILF with my least favorite himbo. Why does everything bad happen to me in the world? But they hit it off great. Maybe I am jealous of Tony. Jesus, I sound crazy right now. But not as crazy as Tony thinks it sounds when Alex explains what he does for work to him.
I perform, and when the curtain is down, all that matters is the person that is hopefully waiting there for me. This is what I do. And I'm too old to give a about what people think.
Good, then you're already paying no attention to the horrified expression on your date's cannoli face. Although he says he's totally cool with Alex's career as a sex worker, the facial expression of Tony Cannoli says, holy moly, my man's and another man's holy? He plays hockey and I am the goalie. He is Brad and I'm Angelina Jolie. I feel that one day there will be philosophical college courses dedicated to me originating the term hockey as like a cute way of saying gay anal gay anal we're gay, we're anal get used to it. That was my Stonewall. So anyway, Tony knows like we gotta be in it to win it. You're partnered with this DILF and you kind of wanna like make that pairing work if you wanna stay on for the rest of the show, because as it turns out, every week there will be a new himbo coming in and one himbo being eliminated. So it's kind of like a Big Brother Love Island type of thing from what I can tell. I've never seen Love Island. It seems basic, but whatever. Tony knows that he's gotta play ball. And I mean, Alex is the most attractive of all the DILFs in my opinion. So it makes sense that he would be like, yeah, I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna try and make it work with this one. But his way of doing it feels a little misguided.
What do you think about hanging out again? Like going out on a date?
I would really like that, Alex.
Yeah?
I would really like that.
Are you like, with everything that I said, you're totally cool?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a fairy tale.
To be fair, it objectively does not sound even remotely like a fairy tale. Even the messed up original fairy tales by the Grimm brothers did not feature a young prince and his star muzzle daddy who worked hard dicking down Floridian manholes every single day, but always kept a load locked down to bequeath upon his love each homecoming. Believe me, I would have remembered that plot line if it ever came up during story time. I mean, tell me that wouldn't have stood out amongst all of the boring, same old stories of normalized child abuse and gruesome bodily harm. Like, we've seen it before. Like, yes, Cinderella, your stepmom hates you, obviously. Maybe if you stopped being bestie with the rats, she would invite you to tea sometime, who knows. In his intro, talking about how he has this like fantasy of falling in love, Tony, the Italian sub, had already made himself the main character in this picture perfect romance, even before he was paired with Alex. And although I have nothing judgmental to say and only positive thoughts about Alex Tikas and his body of work, it does require some mental gymnastics for Tony to squeeze all of that into the wholesome romance that he set himself up for at the intro. Like when it started, he's like, I just want that fairy tale romance where everything is perfect and like a movie. Alex is like, yeah, basically I'll be f***ing strangers all day, but don't worry, it won't be anywhere near as good as when I come home and split you open like a hot buttery croissant while using a Tempur-Pedic pillow to muffle your screams. And Tony is sitting there with a tear in his eyes like, wow, sounds just like Snow White, but the poison apple was Poppers and Prince Charming was f***ing all 7 dwarves on live stream while I slept, and I couldn't be happier because it's all so magical. Like maybe we should have built some flexibility into that very specific idea of a fairy tale romance, because life is not like a fairy tale. Life is like your Floridian boyfriend having an OnlyFans. It's still good. It's still good. It's just different. It's just different. And you have to remember that. It's just different. The bedrooms that they put these himbos into is straight up, in terms of gay people being gay people, a human rights violation. Do not give me a shared room with 5 people. I will share my room with 1 other person if that other person is the ghost who follows me around. And I still demand they get their own queen size bed. We're not around. I need an ensuite bathroom, and I need everyone else in the house to leave me alone at 6 p.m. But that's not what they have here. They're like crammed into this room. They're like, this is interesting. And I'd be like, yeah, it's so interesting that I quit this show. Why is this huge mansion only giving us these tiny rooms? Like, I get like that the rest of the crew is probably in the rest of the mansion for the 2 weeks, but these are the tiniest rooms that exist. Anyway, the himbos are all braiding each other's hair and listfully talking about what they hope to accomplish on this show. It's another pet peeve of mine when you're on a reality show and they call it a show. We're on this show. It's like, call it a competition. Don't take us out of the show by letting us remind ourselves we're watching a show. Just talk about the game.
You're on this show right now, and like, this could be the moment that you meet that guy that take you to your future. Like, that's literally crazy to think. Like, that's so crazy to think.
You're right. That is so crazy to think. The man who will take you to your future? Baby girl, you'll be lucky if you meet a man here who will take you to the hospital when you overdose at the sex club. To think otherwise would be a form of gay delusion, and not the productive kind of gay delusion that gets us cast as dancers in Broadway shows or allows us to make a living as the interior designer to celebrity homes. I'm talking about the backward slice from that double-edged sword of gay delusion that will leave you single yet somehow hopeful for the first 2 decades of your gay life until depression slowly starts to creep in and you realize you've made yourself undateable and you decide to co-adopt a baby with your prettiest ugly friend. And that's the gay agenda. Ooh, we're gonna steal your babies out of the cribs. We're gonna steal your babies out of the cribs. My ugly friend and me have bibs. We're gonna put them on the baby. We're gonna steal your baby. Gonna steal your baby. That's the gay agenda. That's the gay agenda. That's gonna win a Grammy this year. Manifesting gay delusion. Suddenly, someone calls out, like someone very astute in the room is like, you guys seem to be like a little cliquey. Do we know each other over here? Talking to Tokyo and Phoenix. And they're like, yeah, our friends used to be dating each other and then they broke up and now we don't like each other because of that thing that happened that had nothing to do with us in the past. And so they go aside to have like their side conversation about it. And basically, Phoenix is like, to Tokyo, he's like, you blocked me after they broke up. And Tokyo's like, yeah, I just do that because like, I just do that. I block everyone who was friends with my exes. I don't know, whatever. This point is, Tokyo was dating the friend of Phoenix and they broke up. And Phoenix has something to say about that, but then Tokyo has something to say back about it. I like this. This is the closest we get to actual conflict in the show. Well done, gays.
I was there when like you were on your knees asking for his hand back.
Well, pause, because you're making me feel like a punk ass bitch. Don't sit up here in front of the cameras and being all cute. That was shady as f.
Tokyo is about to destroy Phoenix to the same extent that Phoenix destroyed the chemical bonds in his hair when he lifted it to a platinum blonde and then left it to hang off the side of his scalp like a dead body. In gay culture, if a twink with overprocessed hair insults your pride, you legally have to battle them like a Pokemon. And that's what Tokyo is doing here. Anyway, they put a pin in their conflict for the time being, and it's just in time to get into their formal t-shirts and socks because they're having a cocktail party. This is something that Stormy is like, we're doing something a little different tonight. And I'm like, this is the first night. How do we know if it's different or not? But anyway, everyone gets to mingle amongst themselves. You're not stuck with the daddy that you were preordained to sit next to because of their underwear that you liked.
Tonight we're gonna do something a little bit different. It will be the only chance that we are gonna have a group mixer, a cocktail party where everyone has a chance to mingle with everyone else.
Whew, you know it was a rough shoot when the best they could get out of Stormy was a few semi-usable takes that the editors had to Frankenstein together with all of the surgical precision of a subway train stabbing. The only thing more awkward than that out-of-sync editing is this ungodly upward angle that they have Stormy walk in on. Who is that meant to look flattering for? The recessed lighting fixtures? No mama, it's giving Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. And it's specifically the black sequin blouse that's making me feel attacked. Anyway, Alex and Tony are still talking about the jockstrap, which just has me feeling like Tony has not interacted with many jockstraps before.
I've been thinking about your jockstrap nonstop.
Why?
Also because I have a black pair as well, so you can have my black pair. We'll switch.
I like that.
Why do you like that? Because now you can both walk around in an ill-fitting jockstrap, and that's like your uncomfortable gay version of a promise ring? Tony, I don't know where you learned to be a homosexual, but I promise you, the ceremonial exchange of athletic supporters between two lovers is not a thing. That didn't sound sexy, it sounded weird. Also, before Tony, I'm not sure I've ever heard anyone refer to it as a pair of jockstrap. You can have my pair and I'll have your pair. That sounds almost as weird as the gay sex fairy tale he's trying to craft with this misguided attempt at a romantic gesture. Tony, if you want to show your devotion to Alex, all you need to do is gain 30 pounds of muscle, shave your ass once a week, and participate in regular three-ways between Alex and his ex-boyfriend. He was very clear about that. We don't need all of this underwear stuff. As all of the twinks are talking, including a few like loyalties being broken, one of the twinks is talking to one of the daddies. The young daddy who's like the young Mr. Clean looking guy who's like, I usually like daddies myself, and it's like, girl, we know. Anyway, while they're doing all of that, Stormy Daniels steps out onto the terrace to have a salacious bombshell of a dropping, of a twisting, turning plot point, I think. I think this is news to us in the audience. I don't know, because it's not that surprising, because it's kind of hard to get past the performance.
We are all set for the new HIMBOS arrival tomorrow. I think it's gonna really shake things up. I'm gonna go back in and stir the pot. I'll keep you posted.
I think Stormy Daniels is trying so hard to remember her lines that she's actually short-circuiting on several basic human functions. Like, she just fully walked backwards out of the frame. The director said, okay, Stormy, now you can just exit the scene, nice and casual, completely natural. And she starts moonwalking across the set. She said, I'm Stormy Daniels. And then the gays are like, oh my God, it's Stormy Daniels. Yeah, Stormy's here and she's wearing JCPenney. Welcome to television. Anyway, what do you think of the twists and turns that are coming up for the season 1 of For the Love of DILFs? I hate that title, but there is a season 2 as well. So should I continue to cover season 1 or should I jump into season 2? Do you like it when I cover the first episodes of these series, or should I like cover the last episodes or the first and last episode? Or I should probably just watch the entire series like I did for the Shane Dawson series, but like, that takes so much time. These are hours of stuff. I don't have 10 hours to watch a show. I don't even have 10 hours to devote to my own health and well-being, okay? So don't ask me. I'm just kidding, but tell me what you think in the comments below. Also, give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more reality show clip breakdowns or DILF clip breakdowns. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. Turn on notifications, and that way you'll always be the first to know when I literally was born 30 years after you, and now we're dating. Also, I've got a Patreon where if you were a subscriber before, you probably got removed because of an error on Patreon part, so please consider resubscribing there if you'd like to join the Patreon community for exclusive benefits. Also, check out my queer-coded merch collection. All the proceeds go to support GLAAD, who help champion the fair, accurate, and inclusive representation of queer people in the media. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you so much for DILFing. You're around with me today, you DILFs. You DILFs. I will see you next time.